Hello learners, I am Parikshit and welcome to a very exciting session on Unacademy CATalyst. In today's session, we are going to talk about how to start your preparations for the CAT 2022 exam. Remember, more than 2 lakh students register for the CAT every year, and hence it becomes essential that you start early to gain an advantage over another 2 lakh odd students, right? So if you start early, you have the early bird advantage. But most of you, though you know that you need to start early, probably do not know how to start your preparations yet. So this video is all about how to get started and how to get started in the most efficient manner. So let's get started with today's session. I'm Parikshit. I've been teaching for the last 8 years, and yes, I'm a CAT educator with amongst the highest live class ratings on the Unacademy platform thanks to my learners. Okay, before we start, two small updates. The first is I'm starting a new course, a beginner's course on LRDI for CAT 2022. This batch starts on the 27th of October and it starts on the Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursdays and Fridays. Timings will be 10:15 p.m. to 11:45 p.m. Now, if you wish to subscribe to this batch, remember to use the code which is there on your screen, Parikshit Saikia, right? You will get the maximum discounts. Also, November 1st, a complete course on arithmetic starts from the very basics, from the very foundation level. If you wish to subscribe to Unacademy Plus and be a part of this batch live, remember to join Plus using my code Parikshit Saikia to avail maximum discounts and also free mentorship. Yes, I repeat, free mentorship if you join Plus, either using the code Parikshit Saikia or using the code Parikshit Live. Both codes will get you discounts and free mentorship on the Unacademy Plus platform from my side. Let's get started. And yeah, we have batches starting in the next few days as well. So for all these batches, again, you got to enroll using the code Parikshit Live for discounts and mentorship. Okay, let's get started with this very important class. Okay, the first thing is before you get started with your CAT 2022 preparation, right, it is essential that you understand your syllabus, right? Because you need to know how much you need to cover, A, and B, you also need to know where you stand with respect to your preparation, right? How much of it you already know and how much effort is required in the next 1 year. So first, I'm going to talk about the syllabus for CAT 2022. Now, CAT is partitioned, right, into three sections. The first is your verbal section, okay? Second is your LRDI section, and third is your quant section, okay? Fine? Okay. Now, what is verbal? Verbal, basically, you can think about it like English, right? And majorly in verbal, we call it VARC. VARC. What is VARC? It consists of two parts as you see. VA is verbal ability. Verbal ability. Correct? And then RC is reading comprehension. RC is reading comprehension. Okay? Reading comprehension. So that's it. That is it, right? That is it. Now you might be thinking that, okay, there are just two things to prepare, but do I need 1 year? You definitely do. What is reading comprehensions? They will basically give you a passage on, let's say, a literature, let's say psychology, let's say economics, could be sports, a passage, and then there will be questions based on the passage. Now, unlike other exams where a lot of exams, right, often ask data-based questions, answer is hidden in the passage. In the CAT, it is mostly, you know what, inference-based questions. It is mostly inference-based questions. What do I mean by inference-based questions? Inference-based questions means your answers or the questions, okay, would depend if are you able to solve or are you not able to solve. That would depend on your understanding of the passage. Correct? So the author is trying to convey a theme. It is very essential that you understand the theme of the passage, understand what the author is trying to say, and only then you'll be able to answer the questions. This also means that you need to read a lot, and not only read a lot, but read a lot across diverse areas. As I said, you might be very good in psychology, you might be very good in literature, but let's say you don't understand economics, and on the day of the exam, you get a passage on economics. It is very likely you will not be able to score well in this particular passage. So it is very essential that you increase the breadth of your reading comprehension passages. The breadth is very important, breadth as well as the depth. Now, from where do you study? Obviously, it is very essential that I would say you must be start reading novels. Two points. First is when you read novels, I'm not looking at novels, probably, I don't want to name here, but yeah, some good novels, good authors. If you read the novels, right, first is your reading speed will improve. Remember, it is very essential that you develop a fast reading speed, because on the day of your exam you got to solve around 34 questions in 60 minutes. 34 questions in 60 minutes. If you are looking till, if you are talking about CAT 2019, CAT 2019, if you are looking at CAT 2020 and 2021, we are looking at around 23, 24 questions in 40 minutes. That means less than 2 minutes per question, less than 2 minutes per question, and hence it is essential that you have high reading speed. So novels are very important. Moment you are done with this, I would also say develop a habit to read the newspapers. To read the newspapers. Newspapers are essential not only to, especially the editorials, right? Newspapers are essential not only to develop a grasp of your verbal ability, but also to be more prepared for two things. A, for the GK section. Is the GK a part of your CAT? No. GK is not a part of your CAT, but the GK is a part of other exams like the IIFT. What is the IIFT? It is another very good college, MBA college, and it takes students via another entrance exam called the IIFT, right? So it is essential that if your GK is strong, you'll be able to get high marks and probably clear the cutoffs. So it is essential that you read newspapers daily, and especially the editorials. Then it's also essential that you work on your grammar. Okay, you work on your grammar. Now, some of you, if you know a bit of your, let's say, the last few year papers, if you look at it, grammar has not been asked directly in the CAT. But is grammar essential? Absolutely. Why do I say it? Because pre 2015, right, grammar has been asked many a times in the CAT, and you never know, CAT 2022 could be one of those years where you get a surprise, and a lot of questions are based on grammar, usage of grammar, usage of prepositions, usage of nouns, verbs, okay, subject verb agreement, right? So all of it could be taught to you, okay, in a grammar book. Now, I think this is the best way to get started. Okay. Now, from where do you start? Where do you start, and from where do you study? I think this is too prone, and I will come to it at a later part of the discussion in today's class. How do you study? Do you go for tuitions, or do you go for self-learning? Okay. Both has its advantages and disadvantages. And I think this question I would leave it towards the end, because that way I would have covered verbal, LRDI, and quants, and then I can come back to how to prepare and from where to study. Okay. Next, LRDI. Okay. LRDI, I'll come later. First, let's go to quants. What is quants? Quants is still your class 10 maths. Quants is up till your class 10 maths. Okay. Let's go to the other slide where I have the entire quant syllabus for you. I have the entire quant syllabus for you. And there are 21 chapters in quants that you need to cover, okay, for your CAT exam. Now, I would like to classify these 21 chapters into 5 blocks. The first 7 chapters that you see, the first 7 chapters that you see are from arithmetic, okay. So what is arithmetic? Arithmetic is percentages, profit loss and discount, ratio proportion variation, average mixtures allegations, simple interest, compound interest, and installment based questions. Then you have time, speed, distance, time, and work. Okay. So these 7 chapters are from arithmetic, and I would say they constitute around 35 to 40%, 35 to 40% weightage. What do I mean by 35 to 40% weightage? I mean, out of all the questions asked in the CAT paper, nearly 35 to 40% of the total questions in the CAT paper will be from arithmetic. Fine. So first block, as you see, is arithmetic. The second most important block. The second most important block is your algebra. Okay. So as you see the chapters in algebra, these are the chapters in algebra. So which chapters you have? Sequence, series, and progressions. As an example, APGP, arithmetic progression, geometric progression, harmonic progression. Then you have polynomials and linear equations, quadratic and higher order equations, modulus and inequality, algebraic maxima and minima, and then functions and graph. Algebra will constitute another around 35%, weightage. So if you are able to do arithmetic and algebra properly, 7 plus how many? 7 plus 6, right? 13 chapters, 7 plus 6. These 13 chapters very nicely. Chances are that you will be clearing the quants cutoff in your CAT examination, because nearly 70-75% of the paper will be based on arithmetic and algebra. So these 13 chapters form the backbone, right? Form the very core, form the meat of your syllabus in quants. Okay. Next, once you are done with algebra, next part is geometry and mensuration. So within geometry and mensuration, I will include a few miscellaneous chapters as well. So you have got geometry, you have got logarithm, indices and surds, trigonometry, coordinate geometry and mensuration. I love to call this unit geometry and mensuration. Geometry and mensuration. So how much weightage will this have? This will have around 20%, 15 to 20% weightage, right? 15 to 20% weightage. 15 to 20% weightage. Correct? Geometry and mensuration. Next is modern maths. The next part is modern maths. What is modern maths? Modern maths consists of PNC and probability. Modern maths consists of PNC and probability. Only these two chapters, okay? Not the chapters in between. PNC and probability. I would love to call it modern maths. Modern maths. Okay. And then you have the only block remaining. Remember, 4 blocks are over now. And then the last block that you have, we call it a block in itself because it's a very huge chapter. Okay, there are a lot of things to be taught in the chapter. It's number system. So these are your 5 blocks in the CAT. 5 blocks. And as I said, arithmetic and algebra are the most important blocks. Now, whenever you start your preparation for the CAT, it is very essential that your foundations and basics are clear. Foundations and basics are very clear. Remember, you will never ever be able to solve difficult questions unless you get your basics clear. Now, in your graduation, probably whatever graduation you did, you know what? Many a times you don't understand something and you end up by hearting that. This will never ever happen in the CAT. You will not get the same questions. What you will get is the same logic, the same concepts. And hence it is essential that the concepts are clarified before you actually start solving advanced level questions. So do not rush to advanced level questions. I often ask my students, did you complete arithmetic? They will say yes. And then I will ask you, did you complete percentages? They will say yes. Okay. My next question will be, how many questions did you solve in percentages? See, you can say, the student might say, so 5. Okay. You might do 5 questions from every chapter, and in that way you will tell me 100 questions you did. Your syllabus is complete. That's not how it is. You should be ready to solve at least 200 to 300 questions, right? At least I would say 200 questions per chapter. At least 200 questions per chapter to gain confidence in this syllabus. Remember, minimum 200 questions you will try to solve. If not 200 initially, at least 150 to 200 questions, okay, per chapter. That is very, very, very essential for you to be able to master the chapter. Remember, many a times you feel that you have done 5 chapters, your syllabus is done, your chapter is done, and then when you go and write the mocks, you fare very poorly. That has to happen, right? You got to expose yourself to the different variety of questions that are available. And for this reason, I have come up with this exhaustive table, right? I have come up with this exhaustive table which will help you to start your preparation. Now, how do you go about following this table. Let's say, okay, when I start percentages, I'm going to do percentages live for CAT 2022. Okay, percentages will be done live. I'm just deleting this so that I can write it down. Okay, the best way to prepare and what students are doing it. I have a lot of students currently, okay, who have been following me throughout the year, and currently they are at 98, 99, 99.5 percentiles in their mocks. Correct? They are doing super well, and most of them. Now, if you got to be one of them, the strategy that you need to follow to master quants, I'm going to tell you and reveal that strategy. Okay, let's take an example of a class. Which class? Let's take the first class. Okay, percentages life. Percentages life. So I'm gonna do percentages live with you. Okay, when I do percentages live, let's say I'm gonna do, and I'll do it exhaustively. Okay, I don't do it 1 hour, 2 hour, because that's not how I believe the chapter is done. I'm gonna do for an approximately percentages live for 10 hours. 10 hours. So 10 hours, you are gonna learn all concepts, and we are gonna solve a lot of sums in this 10 hours. Now, once the 10 hours, okay, obviously 10 hours is not in one day. It's going to be over, let's say, a 1 hour, 1.5 hour class per day, or 2 hour class per day. So, we'll take 5 to 6 days to complete percentages. Once percentages is done, okay, you got to practice. You got to practice. Now, it's your turn to practice after that. Now, from where will you practice? Where will you practice? You will practice from the recorded PDFs. From the recorded PDFs. Can you see? I provide you PDFs. So let's say percentages. There are recordings of 6 hours of PDFs with video solutions. So you start solving these 6 hours of videos. Okay. Now what happens? You don't have to play the video. You can start downloading the PDF and start solving the questions for practice. Now, moment you get stuck in any question, the video solution is available. You can just go and play the video solution and cross verify your answer. This is the best way to prepare. So live with me and then recorded sessions ensures that the concepts and the strategies that we discussed in the class are reinforced and you are able to master the topic. At the end, remember, if you are able to master around out of these 21 chapters, right, even around 13 to 15 chapters you are able to master, most likely you're going to clear the cutoffs in quants. What are the cutoffs generally? The cutoffs will be generally around 98, 99 percentile. You can easily clear the cutoffs provided you follow the strategy. And this will continue for all chapter. Next will be profit, loss and discount. I'm going to do you, let's say 10 hours live, and then I'm going to give you 8 hours of recorded materials, right? So recorded materials will have new questions. So you solve live with me and then go to the PDFs of the recorded lecture, solve it. You have doubts, you get back, play the video, and you're done, right? That is how the preparation will work. Get the point? Okay, this is how quants will happen. Next part is your LRDI. Your LRDI. Okay. Now LRDI, I must say the best part of LRDI, the best part of LRDI, I would call it pros. The best part of LRDI is everyone starts at ground zero. Everyone starts at ground zero. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Okay, let me explain. You know what? Your verbal, someone might have studied in a convent education. Someone might have studied in a vernacular language school, okay? So what happens probably if you're studying in the vernacular language, your English might not be your strongest area. Might not. I'm just saying might not be your strongest area. But for a lot of other students who have done probably, let's say, a convent education, verbal could be your strong area. So you see, when you are starting your VRC preparation, someone is already at an advantage because his VRC is better compared to yours. That's just an example, okay? Now, LRDI, this is not true. LRDI, this is not true. Why? No one, remember, and I say no one, whether you are an engineer, whether you are an economics graduate, a commerce graduate, an arts graduate, you have not done LRDI before. You have never done LRDI before, and that is the reason everyone starts at the same level. Everyone starts at the same level, and from now on, whoever puts the maximum effort, okay, study hard and obviously study smart and the maximum effort, you are going to gain the maximum output. You are going to gain the maximum output. What is LRDI, by the way? LR stands for logical reasoning. LR stands for logical reasoning. Okay. And what is DI? DI stands for data interpretation. Data interpretation. Now, how are you going to master this section? Data interpretation, okay? How are you going to master this section? Now, we'll go back to the slide again. We will go back to my slide again. So, I have a slide for you, okay? Now, let's look at this slide. So what happens is, again, I'm going to start LRDI from the very basics, from the very foundations. What will you cover in LR? Let's say LR starting LR sequence 1. LR sequence 1, okay? LR sequence 1, okay? In LR sequence 1, I'm gonna cover the basics. What are there in basics? Arrangements. Arrangements. Arrangements as in linear arrangements. Okay? Circular arrangements. Then we will learn about distributions. Distribution. What is the distribution? Example of a distribution based case that could be a guy is wearing, there are 5 guys. They stay in 5 different cities: Bangalore, Indore, Bombay, Pune, Calcutta, and they wear shirts of 5 different colors: red, blue, green, yellow, pink, and then they will ask you to match. That's an example of a distribution, right? Or it could be caseless on comparison. What is the comparison? A is greater than B and B is shorter than C. C in turn is longer than D. So they will give you a lot of conditions and you got to compare. Let's say from the shortest to the longest. That's an example of a comparison based case then. Other caselets could be selection based caselets. What is the selection based caselets? They will say if A is in the team, B cannot be in the team. If C is in the team, then either D or E has to be selected in the team. J got to be always selected. F cannot be selected with K. So such conditions they will give and they will ask you to form the team given the valid conditions, right? That's an example of selection based caselet. You will also have Venn diagram based caselets. Venn diagram based caselets. You will have caselets on cubes. You will have caselets on maxima, minima, and a lot more, and a lot more. Okay, I just written the most important ones. Similarly, for DI, you know what is there in DI? DI is data interpretation. So in DI, okay, I'm writing it here. In DI, you are going to have graphs. Okay, you are going to have games and tournaments based case lists. Games and tournaments based case lists. Correct? Then again, maxima, minima, right? Maxima, minima based case lists, correct? And a lot more, and a lot more. When I say graph, graph itself would cover bar charts, line diagrams, percentage increase, right? Percentage increase, scatter plots, spider graphs, 3D graphs, right? Multiple graphs, right? So all these are available, and all these are available when you are preparing for your CAT, right? Now, having said this, these are in short, I call LRDIS puzzles. S puzzles. We in Unacademy will teach you how to solve these puzzles. How to solve these puzzles. And how do you start? Remember again, I will start from the very basics. I will start LRDI from the very basics. And let's say once I'm done with LR sequence 1, okay, what happens? So let me tell you, okay, how it goes, how the study will happen and from where you can study. So basically it will happen is, first I do the foundation course. I will do a foundation course on LRDA, foundation course, okay. Moment I am done with the foundation course, this will be done live. This will be done live. How many hours? Approximately 20 hours. Approximately 20 hours. Now I do 20 hours of foundation course live with you. Once the foundation course is done live with you, you need more questions for practice. So where will you go? I will also give you recorded lectures. Recorded lectures, a different set of recorded lectures, okay? In the recorded lectures, you will get extra questions. How many hours? So 16 hours. 16 hours of recorded lectures with video solutions. So overall, for foundation, you will get 36 hours. You'll get 36 hours. So basically, 20 hours of live and another 16 hours of recorded with video solutions, so that whenever you are solving the recorded lectures, you get doubt, you have a doubt, you get stuck anyway, you can play the video and look at the solution, right? Same will go next. Once the foundations are done, we will go to the concepts. How many hours of concepts? Let's say 15 hours live. 15 hours live. Once you are done with 15 hours of live, I will give you separate videos, okay? Separate questions altogether. These are not the live recordings, separate recordings where you will get another 14 hours of recorded lectures. These are basically practice materials. Remember, practice materials, the most highest level of quality questions is what you will look for when you are practicing. It is very important, and this process will go on. This process will go on this way. Okay, so overall around 300 hours of live classes I will do with you, and another 300 hours of recorded lectures where I will give you complete new set of questions for practice. Correct? This is how the study will happen. This is how you got to start your preparation, and this is how the study will happen. Remember, for all of it, these are all available. Remember, these are all available on Unacademy Plus. All of these are available on Unacademy Plus. And if you are joining Unacademy Plus, remember to use the code Parikshit Live, which is there on your screen. Either Parikshit Saikia or Parikshit Live. Both these codes, okay, will offer you 10% discount anytime you decide to join Unacademy Plus. It will give you 10% discount on the subscription fee. And B, this is the only and only code which will give you free mentorship. I repeat, free mentorship from my side, and free mentorship will all be about helping you beyond your class hours. Beyond your class hours, anytime you have doubts, you have queries, okay, beyond the class hours. In the class, I'm anyway going to help you. That's not a problem. But beyond the class hours, if you need any help, and if you have joined Unacademy Plus using the code Parikshit Live, okay, you'll also get free mentorship apart from the discounts. A lot of students often ask me, sir, if I join Unacademy Plus using your code Parikshit Live, do I get access to only your videos? No. Remember, you are subscribing to the Unacademy Plus platform. You're not subscribing to an educator, and hence you will get access to all educators and all courses on Unacademy using the code Parikshit Live. I have just started one course for CAT 2022 live. Okay, live one classes have just started, and at the moment we are having classes one day a week. One day a week. Every Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. But from October last week, we will have daily classes. October last week, we will have daily classes. Okay. Currently, just one day a week because more and more students are joining. If you have not joined Unacademy Plus yet, and if you're serious about your CAT 2022 preparation, now is the time to join. You start early. What will happen? You will get more time. Okay, you will get more time to practice. You will get more time to study, and at the end, if you start early, you'll be better prepared when the rest of the crowd join. Remember, 230,000 students write the CAT every year. So when the remaining students join, you will already be in an advantage. Otherwise, the more the late you join, the more the pressure increases because you got to finish things really fast then. Now you can do it at your own speed. Remember, I have just taken two classes till date, and both these classes, the recordings are available. Let's say you decide to join Unacademy today, you can join. You can join using this code Parikshit Live for discounts. Okay, Parikshit Live for discounts and mentorship, and then you can view the two classes that you missed, the two recordings that you missed. I've just taken two classes till date, and then tomorrow morning, which is a Wednesday, okay, which is a Wednesday, 13th of October, you can then join me live for the third class. You can then join me live for the third class, okay? And now, as I said, for the next 2 weeks, just one class a week, and then, but October last week onwards, you'll have classes daily, every day, right? Okay, that is it. That is it. That is how it is. And these are your upcoming courses for the month of October. These are your upcoming courses for the month of October. Beginners course on LRDI starts 27 October every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10:15 to 11:45 p.m. live. If you miss the live classes, don't worry. You can always view the recordings. And then November 1, we will start with quants. We will start with quants 10 to 12 p.m. So basically, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be LRDI. Okay. And Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday will be quants. That's how the plan will be. And yeah, if you're a CAT 2021 aspirant, remember we still have 2 months left, and you can still subscribe go for a 2 month subscription and join us for the next 2 months. Yeah, there are more offers for you, more good news. more good news for you, right? What is the good news? The good news are if you go for a 3-month subscription, you will get 1 month subscription absolutely free. And if you go for a 12-month subscription, you will get 3 months absolutely free. Again, this is in addition to the discounts which you will get using the code Parikshit Live. This is in addition to the discounts which you will get using the code Parikshit Live. And yeah, the iconic subscription is also available for those of you who are interested, and a comprehensive evaluation for mock tests are available on Unacademy Plus. So if you join Plus, even the mock exams will be available, and there will be in-depth analysis of the sessions by experts and a complete assessment of your performance. So do join us live, and remember to use the code Parikshit Live to enroll for free for the free classes, and for the subscribed classes use the code Parikshit Live to get the maximum discounts and free mentorship. That is it from today for today, and I hope you enjoyed the class, and I'm going to see you in my next class. Till then, goodbye and stay safe. Bye for